Well, we back
with the no cap recap.
Shout out to Pastor Matt.
Oh man,
Give us a name. No cap recap. It took us 6 episodes, but here we are.
Hey, but we are.
Here we are. We finally got a name. The no
finally
cap
got a
recap.
name. And I think it's really ironic because
we all wear caps.
We both wear caps all the time.
So if anybody else comes on the podcast, they got to wear a cap.
And see, we wear caps for different reasons.
See, I'm baldy.
Right. And I have a lot of hair and I don't want to do something with it.
Watch out. Like, if you call me baldy, though, I'll be like Elijah.
So we were talking today about fun Bible stories that people don't really read.
Yeah.
And one of them is when Elijah got called baldy and then by some kids, and then he sicked a she-bear on him.
He got sick and tired of these kids bullying him. He had a low self-esteem.
He said,
these people call me baldy.
He said, she-bear, come get him.
Go get him. Stick him.
Oh, man. So the no cap recap, man, I really love the name.
Yeah.
You know what else I really love?
What's that?
I think I might actually get my first win in fantasy football.
I'm going to take my first loss. Rip.
I know last week we said, I just need Waller to make one catch.
And he played 6th place, and he said, I hurt my hamstring.
Hurt my hamstring, can't play.
Can't play. I said Travis Kelce needed to have game of his life, 4 touchdowns. Only 25 yards, but hey, 4 touchdowns in one game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what matters.
Yeah. So,
hey.
35 points later.
Right.
Walked away with an easy win.
But yeah, man, I think I'm finally going to get my first win this season.
I'm going to take my first loss. So you're getting your first win, I'm getting my first loss.
Yep. Hey, things are changing.
The tides are changing. Hopefully not.
The times they are a-changing.
So, like, Jonathan Taylor, out with injury.
Out.
The person I traded for you, out.
Oh, he was out too? Connor was out?
Yeah, he was out. Ankle, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So they said he might be back.
Well, that fits because everybody that I traded for is like
I saw Miami's quarterback should be, he's cleared.
Tua,
so he should be back.
He should be back Sunday. He cleared easy for me to say. He cleared concussion protocol.
Yep.
Saturday, but they didn't want him to play Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because they wanted him to play the Sunday after he got hurt. Yeah. So, you know.
Well, they're trying to make themselves look better.
Right.
They're like, we messed up on this.
Yep.
One. All right, we'll take the L this week.
Yep.
But I mean, Miami didn't look bad the past couple weeks. They've had what Bridgewater.
They had Teddy for a little bit, and then Teddy got hurt, and they were down to a third string guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the third string was.
Yeah, I don't know. But
the Patriots with their third string quarterback, did you see what he did?
I didn't.
Like went 24 of 34 for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Dang.
I said, "Oh man, this dude's gonna make Mac work."
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I love a good competition.
Well, good rivalry is gonna make everyone better.
Oh yeah. Anytime you have to actually fight for your position, it's gonna make you better.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it, man.
For real. And then the Chiefs Bills. Phenomenal game.
Right, absolutely.
But Chiefs came out on the lower end of the deal.
Great game. I act like I hate the Chiefs, but really I'm just annoyed by some Chiefs fans living in the area as long as I have and not being a Chiefs fan.
Yep.
I don't have any ill will towards them, so I actually just got to sit back
watch a game.
And watch a great game.
But I am a fan of Josh Allen. The more I watch him,
bro, he wanted to win last night.
He had the mama mentality. Oh. Like, he's like, I put my team on my back.
He got tired of hearing about 13 seconds.
Yeah. And I respect that.
Yep.
If anybody can play like that in any sport, bro, I respect it.
There's not many quarterbacks that are going to hurdle a defender.
No.
Stay on their feet and keep going.
Well, he went for another, 5 yards?
Yeah, before he got knocked out of bounds.
Man.
Knocked out of bounds. Didn't run out of bounds.
The Bills are just a good team.
Man, it's scary.
Yeah.
If you're not a Bills fan, you need to be afraid of the Bills this year.
I'm like,
and if you're a Bills fan, congratulations, man.
Low-key, if the Chiefs lose to the Bills in the playoffs, the Bills are my team. I just respect the team. They play hard. They play a good game.
Being a Patriots fan, it's weird to have that from an AFC East team. But I'm coming from the mentality of, hey, if the Patriots can't get it and somebody in the East can, go for it, man.
Yeah. There were some upsets this week. We had Buccaneers went down. Who did they lose to?
Crazy. The Steelers. Steelers, yeah. Shout out Chuck Lancaster, big Steelers fan, man.
And then Green Bay lost to the Jets.
The Jets, Jets. How do you... Aaron, I don't care what y'all say. Aaron Rodgers is a fake GOAT.
I'm not a big Rodgers fan.
Fake GOAT.
Yeah. he pulls out he'll start off slow in the beginning, like last year, started off slow, then out of nowhere pulled out an MVP season.
Yep.
Like, don't understand how he did it, but he did it. But hey, somehow he does it.
Goats have hardware, though.
He does not have any.
I
Sorry to Green Bay fans.
Yep. And I mean, you could be a Green Bay fan. I respect you, love you.
Most Green Bay fans are like diehard fans.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they've been rooting for them like forever.
We have like 3 in our church.
Oh yeah. Doesn't Green Bay, if you like are a season ticket holder or whatever, you technically own the team a little bit or something like that?
I think so. I don't know if they still are that way, but I know it was that way for a while. Like, there was a share in the team involved with some sort of fan thing. I don't know if it's still that way, but it definitely was.
I remember hearing about that.
If you know how that works, go ahead and type it all out in the comment section.
Let me know.
Like, we love to learn. We never.
If not, I'm just going to go to Dr. Google and figure it out myself.
Both of us never really want to stop learning. So hey, you know, if you know and can share some knowledge, go ahead, type it up, let us know.
But yeah, football. Great day of football yesterday.
Oh man,
tonight's game I'm not too excited about. I look like I'm rooting for the Broncos. I'm not, but I'll probably put it on the background. But
fall time, college football, pro football, deer hunting, NBA starting to come back.
NBA starts tomorrow.
Baseball is in
Playoffs.
The heat of the postseason.
Man,
there is no better season than fall.
I love
hockey.
Hockey just started back.
Hockey comes back in fall. Fall is
by far my favorite season.
Absolutely.
Like, I love the weather. I love how it feels.
Yep.
Love everything about sports is happening. It's either something new starting or the end of a season. Like,
hey, and this is breaking news. That hat is no longer.
I'm no longer an imposter.
Is no longer just fashion. Your boy is a bass fisherman.
Yeah, I am.
He's getting into it.
I enjoy the fishing.
And the bass fishing is good in fall, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. The bait fish, they're all schooling up, and the bass are feeding like crazy. So, you know, you can get out there.
So Joe's got me addicted to fishing now, and I already texted Tori that I want to get a better high-quality rod and reel. So she's like, oh, God.
He's in there now, boys.
So she's probably going to thank you later for that. Because I've already put out like a budget of like how much I'm like wanting to spend on one, and she's probably going to deny that real quick. But you know.
It was funny because we're out fishing, and he's got his rod and reel that he bought. They're good. Mm-hmm. They're good. They're good entry level stuff. Yeah. And I said, "Here, man, try this one that I have." And it's a bait caster with a nice heavy rod and good setup.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I like that."
Yeah.
And I said,
so I'm already like, all right, well, let's see how much I can get one for.
Yep.
But my problem is I don't just like buy like medium of the road or like I go for it. All right, what's the best out there? And that's what I'm going to get.
See, you did it well.
Yeah.
You started out with a just decent beginner.
Yeah.
To see if you liked it.
And
you like it.
I'm hooked.
So now, let's go.
I'm like, so.
There's no point in getting that next level up.
Yeah.
Just to not be satisfied with that. Mm-hmm. And then get a better one down the road anyway.
Yeah. So that's always how I started. I always start entry level. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I jump to like, I wouldn't say what experts use because that's ridiculous in price, but I will go to like the next tier down. Like that's something that's like superior.
Something that you could definitely still win a tournament with.
That I could, it'd probably last me a lot longer than just a cheap.
And that's a good way to go.
That's my mentality. I want something with longevity.
Right.
So, but yeah.
But man.
Enough talking about fall and
fall is hands down the best time of year.
Oh, it is.
Real quick, rank the seasons.
Oh, okay. So fall.
Yep.
Spring.
Okay.
Summer, winter for me.
I'm fall, spring, winter, summer. Summer, winter.
Yeah.
No, winter, summer.
Winter, summer.
Yeah.
See, I just don't like the cold weather at all.
Man, I had myself confused and it was my question. I am fall, then spring, then winter, then summer. I hate being hot, but I'm fat and I got a lot of hair.
Yeah. So. See, I'm the opposite. I would rather be sweating.
Right.
But summer for me, I grew up playing baseball.
Right.
So baseball is like, I love summer because of baseball.
Yeah.
But yeah, winter only had basketball in it for me, but
right.
I just don't like being cold.
For me, I would probably put winter even ahead of spring and go fall, winter, spring, summer, but spring has turkey season. Mm. Yeah. And winter, you're still you can still be out, but it's cold and it's just if you're fishing, it's ice fish. I'm an outdoors person, man. So if you're fishing, it's ice fishing. If you're hunting, it's not really. It's okay, but it's not really that fun.
Yeah.
Spring, everything's starting to kind of move again, and you can go out and get outside and do stuff.
Yep.
Spring's fun. Then winter for me, because man, I just love the snow. Yeah. I love to look outside and see it. Yeah. And I don't mind the cold. So
see, I dread the snow because I know my kids are going to want to go out in the snow.
Oh, see, Evan does, and I love it. I'm usually the one saying, "Hey, Evan, you want to go play in the snow?"
I'm like, I'll let them go out for 5 minutes. I say, "All right, Dad's cold. Let's go inside."
We'll bring him over to the house.
Okay,
and let him play with me and Evan.
Okay.
Hey, we'll be in the yard for hours.
I'm like, I'll sit. Like today, I walked outside. I'm like, man, it's cold. It was like what 32 this morning or something.
Oh man, 36. Today I walked outside like this and said, "My people."
I run into the car, running back to
right.
I just don't like being cold.
I get that.
If I knew it was gonna be this cold this morning, I would have wore heavier flannel. But here we are. It's fine.
So this is called the No Cap Recap.
The No Cap Recap.
Because
we're gonna be recapping Sunday night sermon.
Sunday night. Maybe at some point we can even recap the weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We could throw that
recap the whole Sunday experience.
Yeah. We do that next week.
We can try that next week.
Our intro went a little long, so otherwise I say we can do it now. But
But
it'd be turn into an hour-long podcast, and
real quick.
And I wouldn't mind it, but I could talk here for hours. But
oh man, yeah.
But we'll keep it to a half hour.
We'll do our best. I don't even know what time we started. So you have a clock behind you, and I actually try and watch.
I don't. I just talk until I feel like I'm done talking.
Right, but I didn't pay attention to what time we actually started today.
Okay, well,
so
this might be a little bit longer.
Who knows? Who knows?
But last night we talked. We're like in week 3 of our series, Devil's Games.
Right.
We talked about bitterness and past hurts, and how we've all been hurt in some sort of fashion, and how we can work through dealing with bitterness. Because I heard it said bitterness is demonic wisdom. Okay. It's James kind of talks about how wisdom, but if you don't be bitter, because if you hold on to bitterness, it's demonic.
Right. Yeah.
So demonic wisdom. So it says you have a right to be mad at that person, or hold a grudge, or try to seek out revenge to that person because of what they've done to you. You have every right to. They've hurt you, they've harmed you, they've done something. But the idea is that God doesn't want us to live with a root of bitterness in us, because it steals our joy, it steals our peace, it steals our freedom. And what was that? I said it. Anger or hurt turns to anger, anger turns to bitterness, and then bitterness turns to a hardened heart. Did I go really fast through that?
No.
You gave me a weird look, and I was like, did I talk really fast? I was like,
no, that's like a straight rip off of Star Wars.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I stole it from another pastor.
What is it?
So.
Pain leads to suffering, suffering leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to the dark side.
There it is. I mean, it's the truth, though. So dark side is a hardened heart.
Yep.
I mean, we were trying to talk about...
Star Wars fans, correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am. It's been a while since I...
It's pretty close.
Since I watched...
Isn't it Yoda said?
It's Yoda.
In episode... Was it episode 4 or 5? When is it he trains with... I haven't seen those in a while.
Man, it's been a minute for me, too.
OGs.
Yep. But yeah, it's a Yoda quote. I'm sure a Star Wars fan can correct me.
Oh,
real quick.
You. Yeah, you said it wrong. How dare you?
How else dare you? The only people that I think are more fanatic about their thing than Star Wars is Lord of the Rings.
It's true. And to me, I'm a fan of both. And that's what's hard.
I like both, but I'm not fanatic about either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I can just.
I'll watch every show that comes out.
Yeah, same. But I'm not reading the books and that's not canon. That's not canon.
I don't do that,
bro. Canon is what the Bible is, and other than that, yeah.
I mean, and really,
that's a talk for another time.
But yeah,
we're gonna hurt some feelings.
Yeah. So I ripped that off from Star Wars, apparently.
Right.
So, but either way, it leads to a hardened heart. And
absolutely.
And
the result is the same.
There's
a lot of biblical principles you can take from Star Wars.
Oh, definitely.
But I mean,
George Lucas isn't a Christian, but
right. But
fine.
it's still the. I mean,
J.R.R. Tolkien at least is a Christian.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well,
derailing.
Okay, come back here.
Grab that handle, get it back on track.
Talking about bitterness. So, I have 5 points. Because God wants you to find healing.
Oh man, you're a real pastor now. 5-point sermon.
5-point sermon.
Let's go.
So, did 5 points to find healing from the past hurt.
Right.
But it still hurts because. It still
you
hurts.
you gotta be sure you say past hurt
Past hurt.
Yeah, because otherwise it could sound like you're saying pastor.
And well, that too.
I just grabbed. I was like, wait,
Past hurt.
Yeah,
there it is.
Cause see, pastor.
Yeah, it does sound like pastor.
Or maybe something else, but we'll keep that rolling.
Keep that, yeah.
Yep.
So first point was you got to acknowledge the hurt.
You're right.
You got to acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. So if either acknowledging it is either going to a counselor,
right,
or maybe a youth pastor, a pastor, or a youth leader, you got to acknowledge the hurt.
Right. And I mean, the first step to that could even be just self-awareness. You know, so like, man, what is wrong? Well, this person hurt me.
So, and not only that, but sometimes we try to bury the hurt.
Right.
It's like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I'll just bury it down.
But just acknowledging to yourself, hey, I was hurt by this person.
Yeah.
Or by this instance.
Yeah.
And then going to the next step could be getting a third party. Sometimes it could be as simple as talking to the person.
Yep.
Because what I've found is a lot of times, like if I've been hurt by someone or I have hurt someone, it was completely unintentional.
Yeah. It's true.
You know, and people get it so wrapped up in their head that they think that they were slighted when it really wasn't the intent at all.
Yeah.
It was either an oversight or a miscommunication. I know one of the things that we work on with like our, like the, I know it's like leadership team kind of sounds weird, but it's the people who help build us as leaders is dealing with deaf spots, dumb spots, and blind spots, and how we act and say like what we mean versus what's conveyed.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that gets lost in translation there and can cause hurt, and it's completely unintentional.
And it's like one thing that I've realized is a blind spot for me personally.
Right.
Is not what I say, but how I say it.
Right. For me, it's my facial expressions when I'm talking. Because I really don't like convey happiness and good job with my face. You know, I'm usually pretty flatline. And even with my tone and inflection, I'm usually pretty, just pretty calm and pretty steady. So I could be saying something joking around and nobody takes it that way because I'm fluent in sarcasm.
Yeah. Same.
So
me too.
You know, like
I messed up the other day. I was sarcastic to Seattle and she thought I was dead serious. And I was like, well, Seattle, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant.
Right.
I was joking. And she's like, you weren't joking. You were being serious. I'm like, no, I wasn't, Seattle. I promise I was joking. We can go get ice cream. I was like, I made a joke like we can't get ice cream. Can you eat ice cream? I don't know. Like you know the stupid can you? May you?
Yeah.
I did one of those.
You shouldn't have said can. You should have said may.
I was being sarcastic in the moment, and she did not. She's 4 years old. She's a 4-year-old. She doesn't get sarcasm.
Right.
But I made that mistake. But I'm like learning. Like one of my blind spots is how I say something. Like I may be like it may be from a genuine place. Like man, this is something we need to work on, or you need to work on. But the way I say it sometimes comes across like aggressive or maybe even passive aggressive. So like that's like I have to watch like how I say things and not meaning it to I could hurt somebody.
Right. And I'm not a very passive person, but I like to phrase things to where they're fun sometimes because nobody likes to have those hard conversations. No. So I try to make them fun. But one thing that I've learned as a blind spot for me is by making them fun, people don't take them as serious as I would like them to. You know what I mean? By cracking the jokes and being the funny guy in the room, people don't take the seriousness of the moment as serious as they should. And that's why for me, like I have to be able to flip a switch and say, okay, we can joke, but right now we're working. Like right now we're gonna get this done. We're gonna power through this, and then we can go back to having fun. Yeah. But like right now, and I'm gonna be very direct. Don't take anything personal. Don't get your feelings hurt. But right now, we have to address this stuff so we can be better. Yeah. You know.
And that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, when you acknowledge hurt, or if you're even going to that person that you're acknowledging hurt with, it's for both of you to get better.
Right. Absolutely.
And really, I as one of my points was you can't forgive what you don't acknowledge. Right. So if you don't ever acknowledge the hurt or the pain that you were experiencing, you're never going to be able to forgive that person.
Man, I think there's one like Eastern philosopher. I actually preached a sermon one time and quoted him which I thought was weird that I quoted it. It may have been Confucius, or it may have been I think it was Confucius, but he said that holding on to a grudge or holding on to bitterness is like grasping at hot coals and hoping that the other person gets burned.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I was like, man, I wish this would have been in the Bible, because it's
perfect.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Holding on to bitterness is like holding on to something that is hurting you, but you're hoping that somehow it hurts the other person.
Yeah. So that leads me to my second point too.
There you go.
Is you got to release the right to punish.
Yep.
You got to let go of, like, so many times, like, when someone hurts you, you're waiting for the next opportunity to get revenge.
You're hanging on to this because you want them to get hurt, because they hurt you.
You want, not only do you want them to get hurt, but you want them to get hurt worse than they hurt you.
Right.
If it comes from you, or if it comes from somebody else, you don't care. You just want them to get hurt or punished for what they did.
Yep.
But and then I used it was Romans 12, where it talks about, like, live in peace with everyone. Don't take revenge into your own hands. I'm paraphrasing right now.
Yeah.
But then it says, this is what the scripture says: revenge is the Lord's.
Right.
I'll pay back.
God. Right.
I'll do it. And it's like the idea of, like,
and I think that's even quoting Old Testament.
It is.
If I'm not, I think it's like sure Deuteronomy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
So Paul's quoting that,
Mm-hmm.
and he's saying, like, let go of it. It's not yours to hold on to.
Yeah, Paul is quoting God's word and saying, hey, God said this and he means it.
Yeah. And God, if you're God's child, he cares for you.
Right.
He cares about the hurt that you're experiencing.
Yep.
He's going to take the matters in his hands. It may not be the way you want it to go.
And here's the thing, too. We're both parents.
Mm-hmm.
If you hurt me,
whatever.
If you hurt Evan, guarantee you the result for you is going to be a lot harsher from me than if you hurt me versus hurting my child.
Yep.
You don't think God's the same way?
Yeah. For real.
Like, if you're his child and someone deliberately goes out of their way to harm you, would you want an upset parent coming after you?
No, I don't.
You know what I mean?
Papa Bear comes out
right,
real quick.
If we're God's children, and like you said, it usually isn't physical harm, and it's usually not anything that we could see.
Yeah.
But just know that God and God alone has the right to punish, like you said, and has the revenge.
Yeah.
So you have, like your sermon point said, man, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
So what's that third point? So we're at point 3, right?
Yeah. Third point is pray for them.
Absolutely.
And I use
and not like the country "Pray for You" song. Have you heard that one?
I haven't heard it, but I was going to say, so many times when we go to pray for somebody, we're like, God, I pray you strike them down, smite them, do whatever you can do to get revenge from me. Like, it isn't that kind of prayer.
The country song is like, I hope your brakes go out while you're driving down a hill. I hope a flower pot falls from a windowsill and cracks you in the head like I want to.
Yeah. It's like, that's not that kind of pray for them.
It's not that kind of pray. It's not that kind. And, I've always referred to it as kill them with kindness.
Yeah. Because once you start to pray for them, like, you may not be able to get the words out at the beginning, but the more times you begin to work at beginning to try praying for that person, the more your heart begins to change for them. You may begin to see them through a different perspective. You begin seeing them through God's eyes instead of your own eyes. And it isn't for them at all.
Right.
It's for you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, like, prayer is going to lead to that healing that you need, that you're longing for.
Yep.
And it'll bring closure.
Yep.
So the fourth point is be open to reconciliation.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah. And so in that, I was talking about forgiveness and the difference between forgiveness and fellowship.
Man, come on.
Forgiveness is what you do. You forgive that person. You forgive them. You hope for the best for them. But fellowship is, and only happens if they're willing to be open to it.
Can I get on a soapbox for a minute?
Go for it.
To you, what is forgiveness?
Forgiveness is forgiving that person, forgiving them the way that Christ forgiven me. I would say forget what they've done in the past, and let it go.
Right.
Did not bring it back up later down the road.
Right.
Like we have to.
So let me ask you another question. Let's say that I punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And I say, I'm sorry. And what is the typical American response to someone saying, I'm sorry?
You're good. Don't worry about it.
You're good, or maybe it's okay.
Yeah.
Guys, let me clear something up right now. You can have forgiveness without saying the words "it's okay," because some of the things that were done to you are not okay.
Yeah. Yep.
They are not okay. They were not okay, and they will never be okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean forgiveness can't be there just because you can't say it's okay.
Yeah.
I've talked with a lot of people, and I've struggled with it, with thinking like, man, I can't say it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
And to be honest with you, if it's such a bad hurt, you should not even be open to being in a relationship with them ever again, or fellowship with them.
Yeah. You can love people from a distance.
Yep.
You can forgive people without saying it's okay.
Yep.
And the thing is,
because forgiveness is for you.
Right. Well, and forgiveness isn't saying it's okay, because guess what? God never said sin was okay.
Yeah. Going back to the acknowledge the hurt, okay. I talked about forgiveness. I said what forgiveness is not is justifying their actions.
Right.
Or letting them off the hook.
Right.
Like that. Those were two things that I hit on. Like, you're not saying what they did to you is okay.
Right.
What they did.
I think the church, we need to clear that up.
Yeah.
Because we have this, and it's definitely an American culture, an American church mentality of forgiveness is saying it's okay, and it's not. Because guess what? Like I said, God never said sin is okay.
No,
He's never said that. Forgiveness is offered through the sacrifice of Jesus, but it doesn't okay sin.
Yeah.
And, Paul clearly states, should we go on sinning because grace abounds? No, absolutely not. So it's the same thing with forgiveness of other people. Mm-hmm. It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not saying the words "it's okay." Saying "I forgive you" is saying I don't hold it against you.
I don't hold a grudge against you. I think I remember, it's been a long time ago, I remember seeing like a YouTube video of a parent who faced his killer, like his kid's killer, and looked at him in the courtroom while he was on the stand and said, "I forgive you."
Right.
And it's like, what you did to my kid was terrible. Right. It was things I would never want anyone else's kid to go through.
Right.
But I forgive you.
Yeah.
And in that moment, when I was watching that video, this was before I was a parent, before I was married or anything, I was like, wow, like that's forgiveness. It's like,
right.
He wasn't justifying his actions, letting him off the hook. He's like, I'm forgiving you because I need to forgive you.
Right, man.
The pain that you've caused me, I can't hold it anymore. I need to let go of it. And this is the first step, or one of the steps I need to let go of.
Yep.
And it's, I forgive you.
Yep. And, man, I just want to clear that up for whoever watches this. Mm-hmm. Forgiveness is not saying it's okay.
Yeah.
Because like I said, some of the things that were done to you, man, they're not okay.
Yeah.
And they're never going to be okay. But not holding it against a person.
Yeah. It goes back to the second point.
Right.
Don't let go of your right to punish.
Yep.
And then the fifth point, talking about that.
Bring it home.
Bring it home. Is you need to pray for divine strength, healing, and freedom.
Because it's hard.
Yeah. Without God, you're not going to find that.
Without God, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Forgiveness is hard, man.
Yep.
To me, it's one of the hardest parts. Mm-hmm. If we're being 100% transparent, 100% open, the ability to forgive and not hold things against people.
Yeah, and Jesus, even in his prayer when he was teaching the disciples how to pray, he told them to pray for the people who have hurt you, that have harmed you, who have betrayed you.
Yep.
Help me to forgive them just as you have forgiven me.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit today. He kept Judas around while he was stealing.
Yep. And full well knowing that what he was going to do to him.
Man.
And he, not only that, but he kept Peter around knowing too that Peter was going to deny him 3 times.
Right.
And Thomas knowing that he was going to doubt that he came back, that he was really who he said he was.
Did I send you that meme about John talking to Peter?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Wrote about you in my book. Oh, really? About how I'm the rock that Jesus is going to build his church on? No. About how I walked on water? No. How? About
how I beat you to the tomb.
How I beat you to the tomb. You came in second in the race.
John was like so savage. Oh man, I'm the beloved. Called Jesus is most loved.
He said the 11 disciples plus the one that Jesus loved.
I mean, he was so full of himself.
John, man, I don't know if I'd like him or not. You know what I mean?
I feel like
I'd like to watch a show with him, but hanging out with him would probably get old.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like we would, at times we feel like we would take the role of John, and then we'd get upset if John was like, "Hey, now I'm the beloved.
Right.
I'm the one who Jesus loves the most."
Yeah.
Jesus wanted me next to him at the table during the Last Supper. Not only that, but I was lounging with him. I was sitting there eating very close to close, rubbing shoulders.
Right. Like, I think I laid on him at one point, cuddled a little bit.
I never understood the Last Supper painting.
Picture where he's laying on him, like, bro. Come on.
If I was Jesus, I'd be get off me.
Get off me.
I feel like Jesus had like if this was legit, like how it went. Jesus probably like get off me,
man.
Like you want to be close to me. Get off.
You know what I like? If I could go back into Bible times, you know what I would want to witness the most, though?
What's that?
Those campfire discussions that Jesus and the disciples had.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff that's not written about.
Yeah.
The moments where it's, I mean, without like trying to sound, like I'm making light of the situation, just Jesus hanging out with his boys.
Like, just think about the celebrations they were having.
Right.
After seeing the miracles that he did.
Right.
And not only that, but they were able to do miracles too because they were with them.
And then just sitting down at the fire.
Yeah.
Like, because they camped. You know what I mean? They camped. They were basically at the time traveling evangelists.
Yeah.
And they'd be out camping, man, and you got the fire and the tent set up just to be able to sit around a campfire with Jesus and his friends and just listen, man. Yeah. That'd be so awesome.
For real. Man. But yeah. You're going to have to pray for divine strength,
right?
Healing, and freedom.
Yep.
Because without it, you're not going to be able to do it on your own.
Oh, like you said, man, it's impossible on your own, and it's hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, that's something, don't think that it's, a real quick, easy prayer, and then it's done, man. No, it's a process.
It's going to be a process of maybe taking someone along with you to help you
walk it out with them. Yep.
And as you're walking through it, you may cause you to have trauma.
Right.
Trauma triggers of like what happened to you.
Yep.
But it's a process that God is going to help you through. Like, right. And like the verse 2 Corinthians, like Paul talks about, when I'm weak, you are strong.
Right.
And he'll be there when you're weak. He'll be your strength when you need strength. He'll help you. Someone is blowing up my phone.
Bro, it's getting crazy.
All right. Tori is texting my group message with my parents, probably a picture of Judah or something. I don't know.
I was gonna it's. I don't know if y'all can hear it on the microphone.
I need to vibrate this or put that. You probably could hear the. It sounds like the airdrop every time, but yeah. I was like, come on, chill.
I was like, bro, is something on fire somewhere?
I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb before I recorded.
I don't even have mine, so.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. Well, that's probably why you thought something was on fire.
Right. I was like, wait, what?
But yeah. But this sermon series, if anyone else hasn't gotten anything from it, like I've gotten something from it, like myself.
To me, those like I say it like I'm some old guy, but back whenever I was like preaching, especially to youth students, man, I got a lot more out of my sermons than I think they did.
Yeah.
Because typically it was stuff that God was dealing with me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, out of the abundance of the heart, man.
Yeah.
And
it isn't like coming across like being like hypocritical, like, man,
right.
But it's like, this is what I've learned.
Yeah.
And this past week, this is what I'm just trying to pass along to you.
Yeah.
So
and
you
I would say that a lot.
Like,
man, don't think that I have this mastered.
No.
This is stuff that God is dealing with me on, man. And I think those sermons will also impact the most because it's coming from the most real place.
Yeah.
So you're doing good, man.
As I say, as a youth pastor, that's like I want to tackle the hard subjects, the subjects that most people want to skip over.
Yep.
Because so many people get scared about talking about things like this. Yep. They want to do their normal salvation message and call it good.
Right.
Cool. We'll do the salvation call at the end. I'm never opposed to doing that. I'll give an altar call after preaching on whatever.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like if I'm just preaching those messages, I'm not making disciples. I'm not teaching these kids how to grow into the man of God that God, man or woman of God that God is calling them to be.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's just where
I think we're running short on time.
Running short. Hey, I mean, sounds good. We can wrap this thing up.
Yep. Cool. No cap recap. Episode 6.
In the books.
In the books, man. It's been fun.
It's been
I really
fun.
like it.
I enjoy it.
I like our time and, and I like the little posts that you put together.
Oh, yeah. I have so much fun with this.
Sometimes using some Music.
We don't need to talk about it.
Music,
we don't need to talk about it.
Hey,
I'll say this. Michael Todd said it whenever he first started posting videos about this. He got some slack. He said, I'm not posting this for the Christians.
Right.
I'm posting this for my brothers and sisters who are far from God.
Right.
That I know who will hear the music. But wait a second, what's that song? Then they'll stay for the music and then wait a minute and they'll hear him over it talking and doing a sermon or whatever. And they'll get that nugget. He said, it's not for everyone. I'm doing it for a certain amount of people.
Right.
And personally, that's where I'm at too. Like this, the recap, like the bumper, I want it to sound cool. I think it's cool. Right. But at the end of the day, I'm wanting to reach people who won't click on a sermon.
Won't come into church.
Won't come into church, but they will hear
and they'll say, oh, okay.
That God loves them.
Right.
That they don't have to be shame. Like last week, I was about shame. Like you don't have to. Like you're not alone. If you feel shame for something, you're not alone.
Yep.
And there's a way to find healing from that.
This week, man.
This week.
God loves you.
God loves you.
And the stuff that has happened to you is not okay. Mm-hmm. And that's not what forgiveness is.
It's not.
And maybe you have that in your mind that forgiveness can't happen until I can say it's okay, but that's not the truth. No. Because that stuff isn't okay.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
For real. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, same, man.
Don't despise small beginnings.
Same.
That's the one thing that I have to tell myself all the time.
Right.
Don't despise small beginnings.
Just because it's like our moms and Marquise watching this right now. Shout out moms and Marquise.
Shout out to you guys. You're the real MVPs. Be sharing this on social media, please.
Yep.
Because hey, let's reach.
You never know who the person who sees it. When you share it, you never know.
Yeah, they might be giving God another chance.
What can change a life, man?
Yeah, for real.
So,
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.